Man, what's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? For those that's listening, I've started a new podcast. I had a podcast which is called Over the Top Podcast, and I decided to make a new podcast which is called He Talk Too Much. This podcast is going to be a little bit more fun, more stories, more motivation, just more deeper into me and just me. It won't be like no guests and things of that nature. If you like to listen to something like that, you can go check out my podcast, Over the Top Podcast. But I want to start this off with a quick story real fast. So it was about 2 years ago. I had a conversation with my mentor, and I was telling him about my dreams and goals, and I just was telling him and talking to him, talking to zero off this day. And he interrupted me and he said, let me ask you something. You know what the most expensive place on earth is? I said, nah, what? I'm confused. Like, what you talking about? He said, do you know where the most expensive place on earth is? I said, nah. He said, the most expensive place on earth is the graveyard site. Because all the dreams and goals that people never took action on, it's in a grave. All those $1 million ideas, $1 billion ideas, they're in the grave. So I say that to say, if you got an idea in your mind right now, and you're scared to take action on it, don't take it to the grave with you. Act on it. Nobody perfect. That's why I've decided to create 2 more podcasts. I have another podcast that I've released. I don't know if I released it yet, or I'm literally about to release, and it's called Pure Motivation. And I started this podcast, which is called He Talk Too Much, and I started that podcast, which is called Pure Motivation, to be raw and uncut, just to let people know, man, you can do anything you put your mind to, like literally. And so, again, this podcast is going to be more fun, man. I want to go into different stories about my life, talk about me a little bit more and have fun with my audience, maybe even talk back to my audience, maybe I can have some of my audience as guests, maybe that's what I'll do instead of just having random people. I'd rather have people that listen to my podcast and want to have conversations about, me and my life. Maybe they got questions about my life and things of that nature. But this episode right here is just like a little intro, of me. Just, for the people that's listening now that don't really know me, my name is Demond Hicks. I'm a young father, author, entrepreneur. I wrote a book called Keys to Elevate, 3 chapters of positive thinking, intentional action, and I tend to forget all the time. See, I ain't perfect, but I got nerve. Positive thinking, intentional action, and environment. So I said it backwards. Usually I say environment, positive thinking, intentional action. So I wrote those 3 chapters for our generation, y'all. A lot of people in our generation don't read like that. So that's why I created that. And I feel like a lot of people can grow. The first thing I feel like, I wrote it because it's called Keys to Elevate. The first thing I feel like you got to do to grow is change your environment. I ain't going to do no preaching or nothing like that, but I just want to explain my book. Environment, you got to change your environment. Period, point blank. You want to grow, you got to change your environment. Positive thinking. You got to start thinking differently. Change your mindset. And then intentional action. You got to be intentional about every action you make if you want it to be the correct. You got to be strategic. You can't just do it. You can do it, but be strategic about it. If you take a step, take that step and look. Make sure you know what's in front of you. So yeah, just, I'm a twin. A lot of people don't know I'm a twin. Y'all know. Now y'all know. But yeah, so I'm a twin. And again, I just wanted to start this podcast, and sometimes I just feel like I be wanting to talk about some things that I feel like a lot of people can relate to. And a lot of people do look up to me, and a lot of people are inspired by me. So, when I'm doing these events that I'm doing, also y'all do events. I don't know, some of y'all might not know. If you go check my Instagram page, I do some events, defeating procrastination. I've done networking events, different things of that. But I just want to maybe, like, after I do those events, come on here and talk. That's why the episode is called He Talk Too Much. A podcast is called He Talk Too Much. And it was just hilarious how I just came up with that. I'm like, hey, a podcast would be dope if I was like, hey, he talk too much. But, man, I think I'm gonna end it right here. But for the people that's listening, man, take action on your dreams and goals. You can do it. Like, trust me, you can do it. Like, it ain't easy. It ain't easy. A lot of things ain't easy, but trust me, you can do it. Like, really believe that you really can do it. And I'm gonna take y'all along with my journey. So tap into everything that I got. Go to my YouTube. It's called Demond Hicks. On my YouTube channel, I started a new segment called Life Before the Millions. You know, you could be able to get inspired. I'm going to start doing little vlogs of when I'm doing these events. Also, y'all, I'm about to come out with my book. I just want to tell y'all, too, it's called The Hiatus. And I'm telling y'all all these things because I was a person that procrastinated on a lot of those things. Like, I was a person that used to talk about my dreams and my goals. That's why I told y'all that story about my mentor. Like, I was a person that used to wake up in the morning time and listen to motivational videos, and, you know, like, I never took action on it. You know, I was being delusional about my dreams and goals. I liked the idea of how it sounded rather than taking action on it. So that's why I want to bring y'all on a journey. And, like, maybe through my stories and my life challenges and my transparency, y'all can grow. You know, you can have fun with me on these conversations, these stories that I'm going to, you know. I might get on here and just talk about some of the things that I failed in, you know. Got my book, The Hiatus, coming out. I'm going to talk about that on a future episode. Maybe it might be the next episode, but The Hiatus, I said a quick little description of that, how that was. So in January, I decided to go on a hiatus, and the hiatus was to grow mentally, physically, spiritually, and to fast from everything: sex, liquor, social media, all of the above, even my business, even my podcast, all the things I involved myself in. I didn't go to no events or anything. You know, I just fasted from all that. I needed a break. I had burnt myself out going so hard last year, and I confused busy with progress. I confused busy with progress. So you can imagine that. And I might just make this the first episode, you know. Imperfection conversation. I don't know. But back to what I was saying, yeah, the hiatus was something to help me really grow. And if you want me to talk about that, you know, inbox me and let me know, like, yeah, I want to hear deeper about that, the hiatus, which I am coming out with a book, y'all. So y'all going to be able to, you know, read about it. But I will say this, the book wasn't an intentional thing. Before I went on my hiatus, I had a good friend of mine tell me to journal during this hiatus, journal my thoughts, journal my feelings, you know. And that's what I did. And I ended up, like, realizing that these things that I wrote down, I feel like people can grow and learn from through my experience, and they might want to take a hiatus. So with that being said, He Talked Too Much, the podcast is officially out, and I'm excited. It's going to be a beautiful journey. I'm excited for y'all. I'm excited for me. And let me tell y'all my Instagram, if y'all don't already know it, is _IamDemond. _IamDemond. You know, I'm cool. Reach out to me. You know, we can talk. You know, figure out something. I can, you know, help y'all with anything y'all want to do. Because, again, I come from where y'all come from, the people that's listening, you know. I ain't perfect at all. I'm learning and growing myself, and I just took action on some of my goals. So, you know, check out my YouTube again, Demond Hicks. Check out my other podcast, Over the Top Podcast, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you know, all above. So, yeah, I'm excited. We lit. And y'all tap in with another one. Future episodes going to be lit.